In Massachusetts, this is Western Mass News.
We begin with a developing story that played out in a Western Mass courtroom this afternoon as a former Olympian pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting young boys back in the 1970s while he worked as a camp counselor at Camp Greylock in the Berkshires. Welcome everyone to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Abby Carnevale. Western Mass News reporter Olivia Hickey joins us live in studio with details from that courtroom. Olivia?
Abby and Chris, it was an emotional day in court for the victims of Conrad Mainwaring as he formally changed his plea today.
You understand that by pleading guilty, you are admitting that those allegations are true and accurate?
Yes.
Inside Berkshire Superior Court in Pittsfield, 72-year-old Mainwaring pleaded guilty to multiple counts of indecent assault and battery. The former Olympian and longtime track coach is accused of molesting the boys and young men during his time working at Camp Greylock in Beckett from 1975 to 1979. Victims speaking out in the courtroom and virtually, one by one sharing their experiences with Mainwaring, all in hopes of becoming successful athletes.
The grooming before the abuse was disturbing. His mind games and double entendres. It really makes me mad how much time I spent with him that summer.
Mainwaring was sentenced to serve 10 to 11 years in state prison. The judge saying given his age and health, it's probably a life sentence. Western Mass News did reach out to Camp Greylock for comment. We have yet to hear back. Reporting live in studio, Olivia Hickey for Western Mass News.
Olivia.